everybody. It's Lee Montgomery with SceneDaily.com here with my colleague Kenny Bruce. Boy, Kenny, kind of a crazy race yesterday at Talladega Superspeedway, to say the least. At least the last few laps, anyway. A lot of things that happened. A couple of really bad wrecks. Impact on the chase. Jimmie Johnson maybe have wrapped up the title, a lot of people are saying. So, man, first of all, let's start off with the first wreck with Ryan Newman flipping over, landing on his roof. I don't know, what were some of your initial thoughts when you first saw that?
Well, the first thing that I thought of was earlier this year at Talladega, and it wasn't Carl Edwards almost getting up into the stands. It was when Matt Kenseth got turned over on the backstretch in the nationwide race. Yeah. And I remember talking to NASCAR officials, and their main focus was on what had happened Sunday with Carl Edwards and his crash. The Kenseth wreck, they thought, well, you know, that's just one of those things that's going to happen, you know, if a car gets turned the wrong way. Well, I was kind of concerned at that point. I thought, you know, there needs to be something done. I don't know what. They obviously don't know what, but they need to continue to look at this. And I think it was kind of ironic that Ryan Newman, who had been talking about, you know, the potential for crashes going into that race, was the one that ended up on his roof.
Thank goodness he walked away and he was okay. The car completely destroyed, as you saw. It was cut away. And then a couple laps later, green right checkered restart, another big crash, yeah. Which this one was maybe not as dramatic, but it affected the point standings in that both Jeff Gordon and Mark Martin were in that one, and they're way behind in the points race now. Martin is 184 behind Jimmie Johnson, and Jeff Gordon's 192. Boy, Jimmie Johnson must be just thrilled after that race yesterday.
You know, he's got to be loving it. I mean, Jimmie ran at the back of the race the entire day. You know, almost thought we don't have enough time to get to the front when the closing laps, you know, started to wind down. And just fortunately, you had guys run out of gas, so he picked up positions there. Then you had that last crash that you mentioned. And that incident, I think, was just what people kind of expect at Talladega. You know, you've only got a handful of laps left. People are going to start making moves, and it's just people banging off each other. Stuff like that's going to happen. But yeah, Jimmie's got to be feeling pretty good. You know, there's even talk about he can go to Phoenix and wrap the title up.
Yeah, which has never been done before in the chase. And you know, another thing we haven't even mentioned yet: who won the daggone race? Jamie McMurray. His last year with Roush Fenway. Ran up front a lot yesterday, was in the right spot at the right time, and took advantage of it.
Yeah, and that's the sad thing. You know, Jamie, that was a huge win for him. You know, a big boost of confidence for him. He's looking for a ride. There's talk that may have made him the front runner for one of the openings out there now. But all the attention's been on, well, the accidents and the drivers complaining about NASCAR needs to do something. And Jamie just pretty much has gotten ignored, you know, the efforts of that team.
Not here at Scene Daily.
No.
We love you, Jamie. But we'll go back to some of these wrecks a little bit, and it's always sort of a Monday morning quarterback kind of thing. Mm-hmm. What can be done at Talladega? What does NASCAR need to do? Do they need to do anything?
Well, you know, I don't know. I mean, I was really amazed that apparently before the race got started in the pre-race drivers meeting, Mike Helton stood up and told them, look, there are areas out there in the turns you guys are not going to be able to bump draft. If we see any touchy-feely stuff going on out there, you know, we're going to throw the flag or whatever and penalize you guys. I think that kind of scared some of the drivers a little bit, like, you know, well, how much are they going to penalize us? And I don't want to be the one that loses, you know, a position in the point standings because of something like that. I really think that NASCAR needs to let the guys race and police themselves. I know that doesn't always work, but think about the number of times that drivers have called other drivers down and said, look, you're getting out of line. I remember, I mean, I've been in this for a while. I can remember Ernie Irvan standing up at Talladega, if I'm not mistaken, and telling the other drivers, look, I've been out of line. You know, I'm going to try to be better, race, you know, with a little more with my head and not my foot. And they're racers. They know what to do. I think maybe NASCAR went a little bit overboard.
Yeah. And a guy you mentioned, or you didn't mention, you talked about it though, maybe drivers policing themselves. Mm-hmm. Brad Keselowski again in a bit of a hot water. He's been kind of in a bit of a controversy lately with his aggressive driving. What do you think of him? Did he kind of step over the line yesterday when he kind of bumped into Kurt Busch and caused the second big wreck, or that's just part of his learning process?
Well, you know, I mean, I think he did make a mistake. Now, I don't know whether he got shoved into Kurt or not. There was some talk that he got bumped, and that's what put him into Kurt. But I mean, you know, with Brad, it's a learning process. And I mean, if he's making those mistakes every week, you can believe somebody's going to be going to his motor coach on Friday night or Saturday night and saying, look, you need to calm down or you're not going to be around here long.
We saw that on a little bit on Twitter. In fact, Michael Waltrip, I guess, called out Brad, and Denny Hamlin chimed in and was laughing about it. So, you know, the learning process continues for Brad Keselowski. He's going to be moving over to Penske next year to teammate to Kurt Busch and Sam Hornish Jr. Anyway, we'll talk about that more another time here at SceneDaily.com. Thanks for listening.